A reverse plank is basically an exercise to challenge the rear side of your core musculature in a plank-based movement. And so this is the first progression of being able to do it. One of the most common things that causes people to not be able to do this exercise properly is shoulder range of motion. So if you really struggle with this, then you can do it as a ring row based movement, and you can perform the same movement, but obviously you're hanging from a ring or from a bar. But if you can do it this way, it's a really good bang for your buck exercise because it encourages good range of motion through your shoulder, healthy shoulders, healthy range of motion. And if you can move to the next progression on top of this one, it's good for your wrists and your elbows also. What we want to try and do is tuck the pelvis under. So you're trying to make your bum disappear or your bum flat, and you're trying to make sure that you keep your chest tall and your shoulders back. So if you don't have the range of motion to be able to do this and your shoulders are very forward as a result, then you probably want to try the ring version instead. The next progression is doing it onto your hands, and you can see before I bring my hips up, I squeeze the shoulder blades back, I depress the shoulders down, and that is just an easier way to set up into that position because then all I'm trying to do is maintain this shoulder position as I raise my hips up. However, this is where it's good for the elbows and the wrists because some people may not be able to tolerate this range of motion on their wrists for very long. This could be extremely uncomfortable. So if you can get into this position here, realistically, you have an okay shoulder range of motion from an extension perspective, which means your biceps aren't too tight. If you can do this with your wrists, that means that your forearms aren't too tight and your wrist range of motion is also good. And if you can't tolerate your hands facing that way, if you turn your palms out to the side like this, it's a slightly easier way. It can be a little bit less pressure onto your bicep, a little bit less pressure onto your elbow, and a little bit less pressure onto your wrist.